is so full of garbage, and there's so much backroom deals that go on. I do not trust any of these representations whatsoever. What's most important is forget the billionaires. The odds of somebody becoming a billionaire is one thing, but what about the people who aspire to have companies, startup companies, innovation, and free thinkers here in the United States that are coming up with concepts that maybe it's going to make them 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, maybe up to 50 million. Well, 50 million is far away from a billion, and that person making 50 million should not be forced or be dictated to by any government about what they have to do with their profits and their taxes in order to help people that maybe don't necessarily have the same drive, don't necessarily have the same discipline or work ethic to achieve such success. A lot of people right now, Stephen Baldwin making that statement, there's a whole lot of people that say, oh, you know, who do you think you are? And that's not, let's help the little guy. America was built on the little guy having the opportunity to become the big guy. It's always been that way, and that's the way it should stay. The minute you take away the incentive for that kind of success, or you create a fear for that kind of success, break down the capitalistic ideology that makes America what it is.
Right. You're a believer in property rights. The person who produces the property should be able to decide how to use it and how to dispose of it. Is that correct?
The person that owns it, yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Because he produced it. Now, who is going to invest the capital better, the government or this entrepreneur who knows what the consumers want and has produced the product or service that they want and need?
Obviously the consumer.
And the producer of this product will know better what the consumers want than the government.
Right.
He won't do a Cylindra. He'll do something that will make money because it's his money.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's just so interesting. They were just saying in the media in the last 3 days in the United States, oh, well, isn't it interesting that Warren Buffett said, oh, I don't mind, I'll pay some more taxes.
Well, he can do that voluntarily, right?
Right, but here's what's funny. A commentator on the news made the statement, you know what? I don't agree with you, Mr. Buffett. Actually, if I was in your position and I was going to be asked to pay more taxes, I'd rather give that same money to you, for you to invest it, than the United States government.
Right, because he invested better than the U.S. government does, and he produces a profit, which means that he produces a good or service that the consumers actually want. He doesn't squander the capital.
He is the person more better qualified
and if he makes a mistake,
to make that investment.
And if he makes a mistake, he pays for it, not the rest of the taxpayers.
That's correct.
But the key point here is that once you undermine property rights, once you don't respect the fact that the person who makes the money owns it and should be able to decide how to use it.
Correct.
Everybody is prejudiced. Everybody is harmed. Is that not so?
Everybody is threatened. Absolutely.
Even the guys in the middle class. The middle class is also threatened because if you don't respect billionaires' property rights, why do you think you're going to respect the middle class guys' property rights? All of us benefit, right, from respecting property rights, right?
Let's not sugarcoat it. It's clear that this administration is now in a very dangerous and aggressive way trying to forcefully implement ideologies that are not consistent and traditional to our Constitution and the rights of American citizens. It's happening. It's what President Obama wants to do. People are now waking up to it. What makes America great is he's only got 4 years to do the damage. Hopefully, Americans are going to wake up, do their homework, do their research, understand what another 4 years of Obama would do and how almost irreversibly damaging that would be potentially, and look at the other candidates, the possibilities of within the Republican Party for those candidates to do what they can do to correct the situation going forward.
So you would be against all farm subsidies, for example, because that's redistributing wealth to the farmers, right?
Yes.
What about the bank or bailout? Were you against that also?
Oh, well, yes, most definitely. But more important than any of that, you know, the obvious thing, how does Barack Obama talk out of one side of his mouth, okay, and say, we have to help the little guy, but when he's writing those bailouts to the bank, it's paying the executives their bonuses.
Exactly. Doesn't make any sense, right? What about...
It's more of this deception that's being implemented onto the American public.
What about taxing the American taxpayer and sending the money to the Egyptians or the Pakistanis or other countries? Isn't that also redistribution of wealth and a mistake?
Yes.
Okay.
But again,
so because we're in all these cases, we're not respecting.
Well, there's a difference between supporting certain, governments and coming to their aid.
Should the government do that? Should it tax the Americans and send the money?
When a tsunami hits somebody, we should help them.
But shouldn't that be voluntary? Each person decides.
Yes.
It should. Each citizen should decide how to use his money, and if he thinks that the tsunami victims are worthy charity victims, then he will send it to them. Yes. So you're against all redistribution of wealth, right? Not just selectively.
No, I'm against any government trying to forcefully dictate upon its citizens, taking away their tax dollars in a way that is unconstitutional.
If somebody's using their property without violating anybody's rights, they should be free to use it, right? I mean, as long as it's their money, they made it, they should be able to make the decision on how to use it, as long as they don't violate other people's rights.
Yeah, correct.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And Jen, you have to forgive me. I got to jump because I got to go to another.
Was it an interesting interview for you?
Yes, it was.
And
I hope we need more guys like you.
Will it help? Will it help? Maybe in your next meeting, maybe you can stick some of this stuff in there.
I gotta be pretty sharp here. I gotta stay on my toes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the interview.
You got it. My pleasure.
A lot of success.
Thank you.